the 19th of March 2014. My name is Scarlett, and this interview is for the Ming-Ai London Institute British Chinese Workforce Heritage Program. So do you mind telling us your name, please?
My name is Lian Li.
So when were you born and where was that?
Born in Malaysia.
Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
My family are in Malaysia. Then my sister moved to Canada. So I've got two brothers in Malaysia. And me and myself is overseas. So I've got three daughters. And me and my husband retired. Three grown-up girls. Two at uni, one working.
So how many siblings do you have altogether?
Three, including myself. Yeah, three siblings. Two brothers, one sister.
Older or younger?
I'm the youngest in the family.
What did your parents do for a living?
My father is an account clerk. My mom is what you call it, homemaker, unless you call housewife. That's it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your education background?
Complicated. I graduate. My degree is in chemistry. Then after I have my eldest one, I decided to do a postgraduate PhD in metallurgy, which is sponsored by the Science and Engineering Council and British Gas, which is mainly on what you're using now, high efficiency boiler. That's what it started on me at Imperial College.
When did you come to the UK?
I'm not sure. Might be 1976 or something like that. Quite a long time.
How did you travel? Transportation.
Plane.
So what was your first impression of London when you arrived?
It's mostly like what you watch on telly, isn't it? So quite nice. Freedom. Quite pleasant and very friendly people. And was very safe when I came. Not like now.
You said freedom. Is that in comparison to where you're from, or?
Yeah, freedom from parents. Because parents, everywhere you go, they ask you where you're going. When you come over to this country, you can do whatever you like, and it's all freedom. But what I like is that that time when I came, people are very friendly, and it's very safe that you can walk at night and people don't hassle you. Even you take a mini cab, you get delivered safely to your place, so nothing to worry. Unlike now, basically there's not a lot of drunken people there. Except in Liverpool where I studied, there's a lot of people singing outside. But not in London that time. That's my experience when I was in London.
How old were you when you first came here?
Quite young, with 19 or 20. Yeah, about 19 plus 20, yeah.
So you came here to study?
Yeah, came to study.
How did you find your first home? Where was it?
London, then I moved to Liverpool to study, yeah. North East Liverpool Technical College. That's where I studied I did my A-level and came back and do another one to get a grade. Initially, that's what I came.
What areas have you lived in London?
Kingsland, Hackney, I think, and then Liverpool. Then got married, travel around and got married. First I lived in Wood Green. No, when I went in city, will be in Northampton Hall in Barbican. Then I I lived Wood Green, Finchley, Walthamstow, Reading, then come back to Loughton. Travel everywhere. So.
What jobs have you done? Have you been into?
My job is after I graduate from my research, I worked for British Gas in where is the place in Fulham. There's a research station there, called Watson House Research Station there, working on high efficiency boiler, doing mechanical design, sizing the heat exchanger, everything. And then they decided to move to Loughborough. And because of my family, I couldn't move there. My husband got a job in London. So I applied within British Gas. I got into Eastern Gas as a chemist, analyzing contamination, everything. Didn't really like the job because it's always in the lab, you see, because when I did research. So suddenly they got a post that do environmental, which is pollution, that you go to all the compressor station where you pump gas. Then they got this big gas turbine where you pump gas, because when you pass through the pipeline, the gas pressure goes down, so you the pump to increase it and flows down again. So every time they start the engine, you got pollution. And one day they set up the mobile lab, and I said I'll tag along. I went in, and then eventually after a while they just hand over me the job to do the emission measurements. So I travel around nationwide, from London, Scotland, everywhere. But the problem is, it's nice traveling, nice hotel, everything, but testing is all in the winter, and when you go to Scotland, driving the snow is quite a problem there. So after that, and then they restructure again, and then they say, I'm going to move to Warwick. I said, no, I'm not going. But the company is very generous. That was from British Gas becomes Transco, I think. No, British Gas, BG, Transco, National Grid. And when it comes to National Grid, they go to Warwick. And I put in my redundancy. I said, I'm not going. But they were quite good. They say when I come to 50, give me my full pension. And then I said, I'll take it. And then, so I took it. And then they closed the office. And then I got bored. I wrote to my mentor. I said, can you be my referee? And say, oh, you're free, so I got to give me a job for 1 year to teach somebody to carry on my work because I left so sudden. So I said, I can't do it if you want me to travel. So because it's all computer, they send me data. So I worked for them for another year to train somebody else. And then from there I retired. Now I had allotment where I grow my things. Yeah, vegetables, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I'm busy with my allotment now until they ask me to come here to help them.
So, in the past, when you were a professional, how do you feel? Your Malaysian Chinese identity, does that affect your work in any way?
No, surprising for a big company, they're very nice people. Even put it that way, when they built the interconnector in Beckton, I was the only girl there. They're all men, and they were very nice. No barrier. They respect you. When you pass through, they won't even dare to swear. When you ask anything, they just deliver. They're very nice. I haven't got that problem at all. It's very nice, the company, the people I work with. Even when I went to compressor site, it's all men. You ask them, but I have to climb up everything to be not like a lady. I mean, you can't expect, so you have to be like in the same boat like them. Yeah, no, they're very nice. No barrier, I have to admit. Even with maternity, they're very generous. Probably it's the company. They give me childcare vouchers, maternity leave, everything.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it's a very good company.
How about in other aspects of life? Do you think it affects you in any way, living in so many places in UK?
my personal view is that a lot of people say they have discrimination. Maybe that's right, but I would say it's very important that as long as you're willing to integrate, I don't think there's any barrier. That's how I see it. Unless you don't integrate, you might get resentment, or I don't know, they say they have a barrier, but I haven't got that problem, honestly.
So when you pick the places to stay, it's usually just because of work, right?
Yeah, because of jobs and because of money. When you move houses, you have to find one that you can afford to buy. You see, that's why when you're in London, we choose one that is cheap enough that we can afford one. And then the reason we moved to Reading is because my husband got transferred to Reading, but I still have to commute to work in Fulham. But because Reading is on the A4, and Fulham is towards there, so I can take the bus. They have the coach service every morning. You have to pay, not run by the company, but yeah. And now I help with the cancer research. I think I worked nearly 6 years there now. Just one day or so, help them in the shop.
Do you live around here now?
No, I live in Loughton. Which is why I'm quite reluctant to come here. It's quite a distance for me.
So what made you come here in the first place?
Firstly, I come to join the activities because they have like a festival, like they have a gathering for food and everything. Then Kim asked me, they had a problem with the community, with their account and bank and sort of thing. And she asked me to sort the problem out. That's how I came in last year, to get the account and the bank signing checks, everything. That's how it started. I was quite reluctant to come because I don't like to be tied down. Because when I worked for cancer research, there was one lady on maternity. They offered me the job, and I didn't want it, just a part-time, because I didn't like to tie down. Eventually, they persuaded me to do just temporary, which I worked for 3 months, just 1 half day, 2 half days a week, just to help them going. And I'm not looking for full time because I don't like to be tied down.
So you said before you came here for the festival, you mean the Chinese festival?
Yeah, they have the Chinese New Year, Moon Cake Festival they call it, or what? Something like that. Yeah, just Mid-Autumn. Just comes in to join the activities function and coach trip, day trip. That's how it started.
Why do you want to come here to celebrate those Chinese festival? What does it mean to you?
Just meeting the own people. Yeah, there's a culture there. I got another one near where I live. There's one called the Harlow Chinese community. So I go between these two because the Harlow one is easier because I can drive and they got parking facilities there. Yeah, but that one is different. They have it only once a month. This one's quite frequent.
So what do you think is the difference between the Chinese community in Harlow and in here?
Okay. Here you call it the luncheon club that you have 3 times a week. In Harlow, you only have it once a month, which they do it, the food is for birthday. Like everybody in the same month, there's a birthday. And what they do is they give them a red packet and they call the name whose birthday was birthday. One thing I didn't like is because I'm quite funny in a sense that you have to be over 60 to get this red packet. I never get it because I'm below the age, so they never call my name. That's how it is. They have a Chinese school every Saturday, and then they have the big supermarket like Lei Gam Ge or somebody come in to sell dumplings, ducks, and everything on Saturday, and they have Tai Chi, Mahjong, everything, but they charge people for that one. Yeah. And other days there's no other activities, no luncheon or anything. This one is at 3 times. So they are not called luncheon club. So that's it. But they have their own building all to themselves, which is good. Yeah.
So when did you come here for the first time?
When? I can't remember, a few years or so. Not just using the facilities, yeah. About 4 years ago. 4 years, yeah, started. Yeah.
How often do you come here since then?
Before I get myself involved, I don't come frequently at all. Basically, it's very funny because I have to pay £3 every time to come here, is it? Where I can get somewhere easier in Harlow. But I come here to support when they have a function and like going to tour. That's all. Not that frequent because it's the traveling that I don't like. Because I have to walk from my house to the railway station. It's 20 minutes. If I go to Harlow, I just drive from my house, which is why I'm not too keen coming. Like today, I just walk to the station and have to walk back. Yeah.
So you said you wanted to support the center, and apparently you're doing more and more in here. So there must have been something that draw you to this. What was that?
It's just that I think basically when you go in, they need support for volunteers. They need help because it's difficult if you don't have people helping out, and it's a lot to do in here. It's just not providing food or margin for them because there's a lot of paperwork, and then you have to, every time you get a funding, you have to submit a report how the money is used, and then you have to justify everything, wherever the money comes from, and you have to keep on looking for funding because basically the survival is based on funding. Yeah, just from the luncheon club, it's not sufficient to cover the cost. That's why there's a lot we need doing and we need more support. And I know we have quite a few, but unfortunately they are not computer literate and they don't speak English, you see. We need younger generation. This was started about 20 years ago, and things have changed, so we need new blood coming in to make it a bit more in tune with the time. And now we can't stick it as forever the same old thing. We can't keep on saying it's a luncheon club, just food and module. That's my opinion. I like to bring in more activities. I like to have a bit more social thing, like healthy living, like exercise, dancing or singing. I'm too against mahjong all the time. Unfortunately, this place, I have to admit, is not suitable for having more than one activity because mahjong is very noisy. When somebody sings, they complain. You need a partition, which Harlow can have it because they have a building, they have different rooms, so there's no interference at all. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the case.
When did you join here working? When did you start working here?
Last year. Last year when they have the problem was in January. Not last year, the year before last. Last year was 2013, isn't it? 2012, I think. I'm sure. Was it 13? No, it was last year, 2013, because the account was well overdue, and they got basically our first fine for delay. So I came in to help out with the account, and then they have a few members who have the right to sign checks. They left without transferring the name to somebody. Eventually they end up nobody able to sign the check at all, and everything has to be cash, and we owe a lot not signing. So I came in to communicate to the bank, explain that we need, but I have to admit the bank was not very helpful at all. they're asking ridiculous questions of tracing these people, which is, you know, we are just volunteer people. Yeah, they just left like that, and it's difficult to trace. So eventually it took me about more than 6 months of class. I got through, but I was quite lucky when every time I rang, nobody refused to speak to me. And actually, I've taken the name of one of the girl. She was quite good. She said, "Oh, they shouldn't do it. I put you in for a complaint department." And because they give me a complaint and the number, eventually got it sorted. So everything is back to normal, hopefully.
How long has this center been established?
According to the record, this was established in 1994 as just a normal community center. I think they incorporate as a company house, something like that, and charity trust in 2003.
And the Chinese center?
It was called Chinese Center, but just set up normal, with the constitution since 1994. And then they changed it to a registered company house and a charity commission in 2003, I think. Yeah.
What service the center provide?
The centers actually was set up as a luncheon group. That time, I think they have 4 days a week. They provide the service, and it was very successful. They got schools, Chinese schools, everything. Then it just went down because of the funding, so they cut down a bit. And then they got this place, and they increased the rent. Then they asked them to sacrifice unless you pay more. So they cut to 3 days and gave up one of the space they used to have. That was about 8 years or 9, I don't know how many years ago. And then now they have to do another again to increase the rent, but we make a compromise with them not to increase the rent because we can't afford that amount of money. And the funding has gone downhill. It was quite a lot. Now it's, 1,300, about 6,000 a year.
Why do you think the change happened?
Well, because of the government, they cut everything, isn't it? The government stopped funding the council and just feeding back, isn't it? So that's why it's difficult to come by with funding. So the only survival is we have to do other sort of thing, even small fund we have to apply, and then through donation, doing some function like the festivals and everything. That's how we have to find other means of generating income. Just from the luncheon is not enough because the council set us how much money we can charge. We can't charge more than, that was a ridiculous amount. I saw the paperwork, they say you only charge £2.75 or £2.50. That was based on, it's very funny when you read that art thing, they're based on Meals on Wheels. That's how they base it. Meals on Wheels is based on that amount, so we have to charge a similar ballpark figure, and £2.75. And that was for years and years as price, but we charge them £3 because we have to employ a cook, and we have to pay for all these things. So, but we haven't increased the money yet, the luncheon thing yet. But we need to increase. But it's very difficult if you increase. Then people will just go away.
Tell me a little bit more about luncheon. Is it you're still doing it now, right?
Yeah.
How many days a week? And
3 days.
So,
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
So from what time to what time?
The luncheon start. The place open 9, should be 9:30, but they all turn up very early. 9:30 to 3. That was the agreement when we rent the place. Yeah.
So anyone can come at any time if they pay the £3, and then they can stay for as long as.
No. There's a problem. There are people coming in. They don't want the lunch. Yeah, it's only you pay £3 if you eat. Some of them don't come. They come for the mahjong. So I changed the way I say that it's not feasible for survival. A lot of people, I don't know why they don't come and eat this. they come for mahjong. So I say, if they don't, then we need to charge them £1 because we provide beverages like coffee, tea, everything is free. They come and help themselves and then they don't pay anything. I say even the space you use and we have to justify it. Kim never does that, but I said we need to. So a lot of them are quite happy to contribute £1, not a problem. We give them a choice that if you eat, you don't have to pay, just pay £3. You can use the facility. If you don't, then we have to pay £1, and they're happy with it. Yeah.
So on a normal day, how many people come?
It used to be quite a lot, and then it went down because depends on the day. Tuesday and Wednesday used to be very good. When it comes to Thursday, it's not a lot because there's one Vietnamese community somewhere. I'm not sure, it's somewhere near towards the Blackwater Tunnel, I think. There's one opening. They open on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. So the Tuesday and Wednesday, they haven't got to come here. Then when I have the choice, then you have to compete. Yeah, that's how it works there. It used to be sometimes got about 30 to 40. Now it's gone, depends. The worst time of the year is during Chinese New Year when they all go back to Hong Kong. Other than that, I think it should about 30 odd people a day.
So the people who come here, where do they usually come from, and what's the age range?
Close. They live surrounding this area.
No, I mean where? Like, are they from Hong Kong or Malaysia?
Oh, they Hong Kong, Malaysian, Vietnamese. Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit about what other services do you provide other than the luncheon?
I managed to bring in a Tai Chi master. I call it Tai Chi. Comes in Thursday. I have to ring him up because he's been closed. He comes in and do an hour session. He's a volunteer. He's very nice. And then I just teach people basic English to them. I just prepare something, and I got time. I teach them English. Very basic, not the proper schooling like the English one, just like you meet your neighbor, how to converse, like you're going to see a doctor, what you're going to say, and if you lost your way, how they're going to say it, that's it. That's what I provide, that's the extra that I added, teaching English.
So, how do you find your fundings for the activities?
The activities, you go to the website. We have these. We registered with registered with the Charity Commission. They have these things. Occasionally, they send you emails about the funding available, and then you go through it and you check whether you're compatible, whether your case is suitable. Some of them not suitable. Some is for children, kids, like apprenticeship and for unemployment. So you check that is for older people or social welfare and all these things. Then you go and apply for it. That's how it works. All through internet. They've got a lot of bulletins there. Yeah. Then you go. There's quite a lot of funding, but it's matter where you can get it because there's so many apply for it. Yeah. Because the supporter, to be honest, of this place is by the Tower Hamlet. They are the main funder for us. They are the one who give us the major grant. I think they call the words for it. Yeah. But they have cut down about by a third of the funding now. They used to give quite a lot. But they're quite good. They keep on writing, telling me that keep an eye on it. When they have other smaller fund, just apply for it. Yeah. So you just apply.
So I want to ask a little bit more about the service users here. So are they usually men or women?
Both sexes. Yeah. But majority are women because basically women live longer than men, I think. I don't know.
How do they find out about the center? Do you know?
Words of mouth, I think. Yeah, to friends introduce. Yeah. And used to be if I'm not mistaken, I'm not very sure. You've been here for so long, yeah. So, and people keep on telling, oh, by the way, they got one, and then people come. We can also advertise in the free paper, I think, if you need it.
Over the years, do you know if there are any changes in the different, the sort of people who come here?
Slightly few, but majority are those loyal people. They keep on coming, yeah. And then they bring a few, but they so far what I see, but I'm not sure. Some have passed away through the years because we have quite a lot. Before when it started, we have a filing cabinet a lot. We used to be very big. We used to even do housing for them, applying, advocacy, everything. They employ somebody specially for that. But because of funding cut, we can't provide the facilities there. Yeah. So that's why, because our service is so limited, that's why it's not basically attracting people. So it's only more like, if you want to play mahjong, just come. That's it. That's why I'm trying to introduce new thing. So I need new blood to bring in something different. Because when it was started, the attraction was on this generation who are in the mainly in the restaurant, laundry, whatever. Then they are quite old now, so now we have another aging people coming in, and they are a different type of people that are a bit thinking is a bit more flexible, more modern, and they want something different, which I have mentioned. And many of them like dancing, singing, not mahjong, you see. And unfortunately, this place has limited facility to provide it. If every time I speak to them, they say, "Can you come? Would you like to come?" I say, "No, because it's limited." They say, "If you have dancing, I will come," because they join to other group for dancing, and then they like singing, and my friends like to play the Chinese instrument. You see, these are the things that newer, older generation, older people like to do, not the old-fashioned one on mahjong. That's why we need to change a bit.
Are there other changes of the roles of the community center? Is the role of the community center, has it changed over the years too, you think, because of the different generation or because of other things?
You better ask him.
So do you still do legal, advice and also immigration issues and all that?
No, we don't. But if somebody come and ask, I can help them a bit. We can help them a bit. We know that we can help them a bit in what is we know, and the rest we have to refer to somebody, right? Normally we assess whether it's feasible or not. Some you straight away it's impossible. But if they need further, I will ask them to go to the Citizen Advice Bureau. There's another one in Chinatown. It's called the Chinese Information Advice, something like that, where they can go and get more help. Because we have limited resources. We used to able to do it if we have money, but because we haven't got, we can't employ somebody to do it.
What do you think Chinese Community Center plays? What role do you think Chinese Community Center play in the lives of Chinese people here?
I think it's very important. I think Chinese people in general, they are quite, what do you call it? First, is the right word to call conservative, or they don't like to mingle with other races, right? They want to, I don't know, either they have a problem integrating, or they feel that they're not being accepted. So they feel uncomfortable mixing. You don't find a lot of Chinese go to a pub, do you? I mean the older one, right? They feel funny going there. So for them to socialize is to meet their own people where they feel comfortable with, which is why a community is important. No matter what new generation comes in, is the way they make themselves comfortable where they can speak their language. Right? They don't want to keep on speaking English, which is what the government tried to say, but they like to have people of similar culture that they find they can understand them more. Right. So that's why it is important to maintain it, no matter how long it is.
Can you please tell us briefly about what's your role here at the center?
Me? Oh. Mine is help to get the center running, response to any emails, like also apply for funding, and then do reporting and make sure the account is submitted on time. And sometimes I have to do some cooking. That's a problem. Because we have problem employing a chef because of the hours that we can afford, and we can't afford a lot of money because it's and there's a lot of problem that to get a chef is have to be people who are already retired. I mean, if you get not retired, they have a restaurant to run. They can't come for just 3 days to help you because restaurants do open lunchtime. So, and a lot of these chefs that retire, they say, I don't want to cook anymore. So it's quite difficult. Yeah, so that's why I have to help them. So at the moment we get volunteers to help the cooking, but we still advertising for a chef who's willing to help. Is this chef say if I can continue cooking, I must well get a job, because the pay we can't pay a lot, and we only pay a few hours only. So, and the other thing which is not going to say is maybe off the record is you know what it's like about people getting benefits and all these things. You know, the government quite not helpful in a sense that I think the government should change the rule that when people seeking for a job, they should allow them to do some voluntary work or help a short hours to get paid, rather than stopping them doing these things. Because if they were to say, I got a job as a chef temporary, they stop the benefit, they won't do it, because to get back the benefit is difficult. It's better to have them a leeway that if you don't exceed a certain amount of money doing that thing, they can steal. Then that makes life easier. That's why people on benefit don't do any work, because they say they cut it off. That's the problem with the government.
So how many days do you work here now, and how many hours a day?
Oh, I only do 1 day a week. This is Thursday, which I look after the Tai Chi, the cooking on the English class. That's it. The rest I leave it to other people.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're here today for the interview?
Yeah. I try not to come that frequently, basically because they pay for my expenses. They're traveling, and I find that if I'm not really needed, I don't want to waste the money, because we don't have much money. So if it really needs me to come, then I'll make an effort to come. That's it. That's my perception. That's how I view it. That's all.
What do you like best about this job?
This job, helping the old people. I think make them. I normally like is taking them out, basically, because I feel that these old people, if you don't take them out, I don't think they have the opportunity to go outing, because I think they're very scared. That's why I like give them the chance to mingle and to socialize with a group of people. Otherwise, they go home, they'll be on their own. I bet all the kids are moved out. That's it.
So, and what do you like least about the job?
Least is cooking. They have to keep on ringing me up, and they don't have somebody around to cook. They won't leave me alone because I got other functions, other things to do. Yeah. Least is the, I don't know. it's the paperwork, I think. It's too much. Too much paperwork for such a small amount of funding. The demanding is so... You apply so much, all the funding, and then you're not guaranteed you get it. And the application for funding is not that easy. It's pages and pages and pages. And you spend so much time for it. And then they just reject you sometimes. That's quite disheartening. Mm-hmm.
So you talk about what your job means, what do you do here means to other people. So what does this job mean to you? Like, what's your attitude and ethics about the job?
My attitude. I don't know, you come and work for a community center or charity is to serve the community, to help people. That's what it is. It's good in a way that you can give some of your time to the community. That's why it is sort of like I help with the cancer. It's just rather than sitting at home doing nothing, you just give something back to whoever needs it. That's how it is. I mean, must not be selfish and think of your own self. That's all. I think if you've got time, do something for the good of the community.
I have a couple of questions about your years in Liverpool. When was it?
When I was 20, on my 21st birthday was in, I think, 1977, I think, was it? Yeah,
Until?
Only 1 year I studied there. Then I went to uni. Because I did my A-level, and then I repeated because I want a better grade, that's all. So they offered me a place. I'm quite bad at time because you don't go to UCAS. They offered me a place in Liverpool. And then at last minute I said, I'm not coming to Liverpool year. I went down to London to study. That's how it is.
So what was your impression of Liverpool and the Chinese community there?
I didn't mingle a lot with the Chinese community when I first came. I have to admit, although I speak Chinese, I can't read or write. Okay, that's the problem, you see. Because where I come from, Malaysia is only Malay, English, that's it. It's not much. I can speak because my parents and people speak. Liverpool has a Chinatown there, a small one. It's quite old. It's very different from London, but my year at the time they're quite small. But I haven't got a clue whether they have the community because that time I was, what do you say, when you're pretty young you don't care that much. That's bad, isn't it? You think about your own self, enjoy your life, isn't it? So I didn't find out about Chinese community, but I do go there for food. They're quite good. That's it.
And how about Wood Green? When did you live there?
Oh, it's a short while only, a few months. Wood Green, not a lot. It's very cosmopolitan. There's a lot of people different. I don't see many Chinese there. A lot of Turkish or sort of things there. So then I moved to Finchley. I love it. And Reading, I love it. I have to say the places I love. Then the best place I live now is Loughton. They are very nice people. And you walk out, they say hello to you, and like you know everybody there. Basically, probably I work in a charity shop, maybe that's why. And then I joined the gym there, and they're all very local people. I'm quite happy there. Loughton is a nice place. And there are more and more Chinese coming in now. I'm shocked, that's why. It's a very nice place.
So does it mean that when you move around and when you find a home, the Chinese community is it your consideration or no?
Not really. I would like to have some Chinese. Everyone would like to see similar colored people, same face sort of thing, But the most important is safety. I mean that you feel when you come out at night, come out from the tube station, that you can walk home, that you don't have to keep on looking behind you. That's the most important. That's what I look for. And also that they are nice. I don't know, when you go to Walthamstow, right? you shop, they don't know you anything. It's just like everybody's a stranger. I think that's how London's life is, isn't it? You don't say, hello, how are you? But you go to London, you got smiley face, and then even you don't know, you just smile, everybody return the smile, and then you see a baby, and then they talk to you. It's very different, completely different. Here, you talk to a baby, I think they will stare at you, I think. I don't know, that's my impression.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
No, I think I'm not that gent. That's my life, story of my life.
Thank you very much for
welcome.
helping us.
I hope it's helpful. It's my story of my life. That's how I enjoy life. You see.